All right, guys, back again, and let's talk about Torso. And I have a different kind of setup for right now because I honestly am just tired, like physically. So this is going to be a video that's not really super much into editing. I'm just going to say what I think about this movie. And I wanted to get it out kind of quick because I just haven't had much time to do reviews or anything because I've worked through all this bullshit. So I'm going to do it this way for a while. So let's talk about Torso, which is free on Amazon Prime, directed by Sergio Martino, which is a Giallo film as well. And it's one of those that I've not seen any film from this director, and I've only seen with the Giallos. I've seen the big ones like the Argento ones for the most part, and I've seen some Fulcis, and I've seen like one Bava, and that's pretty much it. I haven't delved much into these, but every single Giallo film I have liked or enjoyed, and I think that this one is no exception. This one is actually really, really fun. Watching Torso, all my friends kept saying, this one is great. Definitely go and see this one. This one is awesome. And I like how this movie does a lot of things that are interesting for the time. I like that it has a mellow score for the fact that it's a giallo slasher. I think that's cool, and I liked having that musical score. And also, it's from 1973, but it's not from America, so it is a movie that is full of just the plot is about, even on Amazon Prime, it says a series of sex murders take place on a college campus. But if it was 1973 in America with this kind of movie, it wouldn't be that explicit. But oh my god, this movie is insane. Like, I just did not expect 20 minutes in there were like a million boobs. I was surprised that like it went that far, because of course different countries of course have um different types of ways of doing things. Like they might be fine showing more of that. And I think that that's cool, and I like that. And it's of course a good thing if you're a horror fan. And I really like the fact that this movie is a slasher, but it's not super violent in the way where you don't see a lot. The killer is a killer that goes and kills people with the scarf, and then he starts cutting them up afterwards. But you don't really see a lot of it. You see a couple shots. But I think that the movie is so tastefully, artfully done that I really appreciated that. And I like that the killer's mask too. It's interesting because it looks like it's from like Edge of the Axe or like Nightbreed. Like it's that type of mask, and I think it's cool. Uh, Regardless, but I noticed that similarity between those kind of movies. And Nightbreed isn't completely a slasher at all. It's just like a weird, bizarre movie. But you know what I mean. Like it was very similar with the masks. Like the masks were very similar for both of those movies. And I like too that the movie does a good job of being like 30 minutes into the movie, you're like, I got this down. She knows who the killer is. And I think they do a great job of making you really guess throughout. Like, these Giallo mysteries are remembered for a reason because they just do a great job, from what I have seen, that they do a great job in these movies of building up this mystery. And it's about the mystery more than the violence, but the violence is still good. Like, it's not overly gratuitous in this one. There's more nudity than violence in this one, so it's funny seeing back and forth. And this is just one of those giallos. It's not super violent, but there are violent moments, and I do like the moments, but it's not about that. And I just think that the movie does an interesting job. It's just really fun with that fact. Um, and mostly on these notes after this, I wrote a lot of random things that I was thinking of while I was watching the movie. Like the main character, her uncle, he sounds just like Vincent Price, and I couldn't get it out of my head that it wasn't Vincent Price. Like I would listen to the voice and just shut my eyes and be like, "That's Vincent Price." He sounds just like Vincent Price. It was uncanny. I was so genuinely surprised that it wasn't Vincent Price because, of course, it didn't look like him, but it just sounded so much like Vincent Price. It cracked me up. Um, and like I said, I want to go back to the gore real quick because also I forgot to say it isn't overly showy with the gore, but like usually the kills are off screen and then you see somebody get like their arm cut or something like with a hacksaw. But I really loved, there's this one kill that's shown, and really fantastic where this guy gets freaking nailed to a wall, and then the killer gets in a car and just rams that car into the guy, into the brick wall, or into that solid wall, and just smashes his head, and you see the impact of the dummy just go like, it's really really cool, and I really love that. It's my favorite death in the movie because it is the one that's shown more so, but I do really love that. That's a great scene. um and the movie also has a really good jump scare that I didn't expect. I was like, damn. It's because whenever you have a jump scare, some noise pops up in any other horror movie. And in this movie, there's a jump scare where the main character goes through a room, and then you hear a scream right in front of her, and then it's just a parrot. And I just thought that was really funny and just really creative. And I thought that just really did a good job of being like, wow, that kind of subverted my expectations for being this type of movie. I thought that was really fun. And I also like that the movie has a lot of humor too. Like, it's really goofy unintentionally, but then sometimes it is very intentional with the humor. For example, there's a scene of this girl just standing on top of a car. The camera is on her legs, and you see all these guys, a couple of them cross-eyed, are just with their mouths open, gaping, and it's so funny watching them just go, like, just watching, and like, it's genuinely funny because it's just, you see a couple cross-eyed people like looking at her. Like, that's bad to say, but it's like, it cracks me up with that. And then there's a scene where this guy, the milk guy, like the milk and bread guy who delivers milk and bread to this house, he drives over to the house, and there's all these naked ladies just outside, and you don't see any of their faces, and you think they're all, some of them are dead. I just thought in my head that they were, and then it cuts to him just going, oh, and then like they just jump right up, and I thought that was a great funny moment as well. I thought that the movie does do a fun job with humor as well. It does interesting things. Like, I liked how this one was really watchable and fun. It really did make me enjoy the movie. And I like too that the movie has a lot of creepy shots too that are very reminiscent of Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. Shots of feet and legs just standing there watching somebody, like, or a crowd walking away. I thought that was really cool, and it reminded me so much of those movies that you could just see the imprint that these movies make for America, and I really think that's awesome as well. And I like the final location too. I'm not really going to spoil the killer or anything, but or any of the story, but I liked the final location. I thought it was cool. It looked kind of gothic with how it was shot and just the lighting. And I really thought it did a good job of that. And the movie has some good cinematography. And there's also a scene earlier in the movie where a woman's running around in the woods, and it's like dark and grimy looking, and it is scary, and it's effective because of how good the cinematography looks. The movie has a lot of things that I think makes this movie really fun for me, and I'm glad that I finally got to see it because I really did enjoy this one. It works on all accounts. Like, it's not like my favorite giallo, but it's still a good giallo. And not to spoil the ending, but it also reminded me of Don't Torture a Duckling, Fulci's, not Argento's, Fulci's movie. The ending of that kind of reminded me of this one with the flashback. And then I noticed that they did the same kind of thing in Deep Red, where it's like they do a lot of flashbacks with these killer reveals, and I think it's fine. It's similar to those, and I liked that and appreciated that, even though it was similar. And again, this movie has creepy dolls in it, and I like how this one and Deep Red do that as well. It really makes this movie, even though it's very similar to all the other ones that I've seen, or similar plots, like I said, to Deep Red or Don't Torture a Duckling, they really they really just do a good job of being entertaining. And again, I like how this is in 1973 and just how gratuitous it is. And it cracks me up. It's so funny to watch, and it's just such a fun movie. It's such an interesting watch, and I really did like Torso. I thought it was a really fun time. So pretty much that is it on this review. That's all I think I could say about it. So thank you guys for watching.